Fuck it, we'll do it live. I ain't recording. Fuck all. Let's taste this shit.
All right.
This is how my car vlog is with Sam. What the fuck do you expect?
All right.
Yeah, I'll let you pour whatever you want to pour.
That's fine.
Once you pour, I'll read what this is for our captivated audience.
Yeah, all
of like 6 people who watch.
I say all 7 of you better fucking enjoy this shit.
This is the Maker's Mark 2020 release. That is the SE4 and the PR5 stave choice match thing. I promise we're not drunk.
I'm not this motherfucker.
Bruh, I drank less than you.
That ain't fucking true.
Boy, fuck off. We will place this like this so people can see.
As you're the only one who... You're not in the camera at all, bud.
I know. It's also my dash cam channel. I'm never on my fucking cam. I'm never on fucking screen. Definitely smells really oaky. Now this has had a chance to open up, so that doesn't
very oaky. A little bit of wheat in there too.
A little bit of. I mean, it's Maker's Mark, so that does make sense. Maker's Mark is wheated in general. These are interesting because Maker's Mark usually their proof isn't the same all the time. Like their cast strength, they make it to taste, not to proof. So they make it so it tastes the same every time, but the proof is never identical. Yeah. This one's interesting because they don't make it to something specific. This is meant to be one of their experiments. And there's something else I'm getting too, but I'm fucking taste it, whatever. Ooh, a lot of wheat.
Very wheat, very... There's a bit of a bite to it, but it's not, like, too strong.
It's a bite in the sense that it's like an oaky kind of bite. It's not like...
It's not aggressive, but
it's not a bite, it's a lot of oak.
Yeah, and there's a lot of... It's very hot, but it's not, like, uncomfortably so. Like, it's still smooth.
It has a Kentucky hug to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I want to try Stag Jr. That's the thing Stag Jr. does. Apparently, it gives the best Kentucky hug of any bourbon you could ever have. I mean, I almost want to buy the next wood finish when it comes out and see what's different about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, for
110 proof. Let's see on the label if what we're getting is actually... Let's see. Okay, the baking spices, so that's where the spiciness, the kind of heat's coming from.
Absolutely.
Vanilla and caramel, I mean, I get that in a lot of stuff that I taste.
There's a little bit of a sweetness to the finish that's kind of...
It's...
I don't know if it's almost caramel, but it's not...
It's not necessarily. It's almost like... Almost reminds me of a butterscotch.
Almost, yeah.
But a little bit... a little bit more robust than that, though. I mean, I'd buy this fucking bottle again in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely, it's fucking good. But it's interesting how it has that kind of spice. It has that kind of spice to it. Whenever
the baking spice comes from the barrels of they use regular toasted barrels. Yeah, but they finish it in French oak.
Interesting. It's got a definite nice...
So, it's... The French oak, I'm trying to think, just based off my knowledge, what that's going to kind of give us. That's the one... I don't know a lot about the non-American stuff. So Steelers scored again.
Oh, nice.
Touchdown? Touchdown.
Yeah, Steelers. Like
I said, come on, dig yourself out of a hole.
Yeah, it's got a nice, it's got a nice spice to it in the palate, but then it's got a sweet finish, which is very interesting.
Right. It's... So, French oak, dark chocolate, coffee, exotic spices. So basically, the kind of vanilla kind of flavors you're getting from this are from the American oak. That's why, that's the part that's reminiscent of a bourbon.
Yeah.
That French oak that they would use for wine or for other... I think they use new French oak to my knowledge. I don't think they use anything that was already used.
Yeah, I don't think it was,
or charred or anything. But although I don't know, because it says virgin American oak, which means that that's what makes it a true bourbon. But it doesn't say. It doesn't specify for the French, right? I wonder what. I'll have to do more research. I might put a link in the description of this video for that, because I might have to legit just do some research on where they get their French oak from.
I don't know a ton about.
But that's definitely like the bite we're getting from it. So we're getting the sweetness from the bourbon barrel, from like the traditional, getting the vanilla and all that stuff. But that sort of bite we're getting, those baking spices, it's definitely. I feel like I need to.
It's definitely has a bit more spice to it than like the typical Maker's 46.
Tasting it again, I definitely get a little bit of, I don't want to call it coffee, but that sort of ground, that sort of like raw bean kind of flavor.
Yeah, I could definitely get that. It's not, and
it's definitely oaky, but it's been aged in two different. It's a double oak, but without American oak.
I say it's very oaky, but it's not like.
It's not like licking an oak table level of oak, which I've had some that are, and that's not a bad thing. But
yeah, I've definitely had that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely buy another bottle. I'm glad I bought this on a whim, and I'm really glad I did, because this is like, think you're never gonna get to try this again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
even by the next one, it's gonna be different. But the other thing is strong. I mean, for not being a barrel proof.
Yeah, I mean it's 110,
almost 111. Yeah, with 10 virgin oak staves. What the hell? That seems like, I don't know. One thing I hate is that I can't just peel the label off this and keep it, because part of the label is imprinted on the bottle, because that's what Maker's Mark does. But I just straight up have to do more research on the specific staves. But I don't know what that's actually going to yield, because they.
Yeah, I mean
it's sort of their proprietary. They pick what they pick.
Yeah.
And they picked it for a reason. That these wood finishing is definitely meant for their experimenting.
Yeah.
Because the 101, they know what they're doing. They're making it 101 proof no matter how it tastes.
Yeah, and
their cast strength, they're making it. They want the taste that they want from it, but the proof can vary from. I think I've seen it as low as 107 and as high as like 112. So they make it to taste, not to proof. The regular stuff is made to taste, but because it's their general blend.
Yeah,
same with the 46.
Yeah, because it has enough barrels going into one vat
that you get pretty similar flavor.
Yeah, you get a pretty consistent flavor and a pretty consistent proof.
Maker's Mark, in my opinion, does the best at being. When they make something that they want it to be the same, they're the best at it.
Yeah, they do a really good job of consistency, and I've never
that's the word I couldn't.
I've never had a Maker's product that I didn't enjoy, and I never. Like I've had Maker's Mark out of how many bottles, and I've never thought, oh, this tastes different than normal or whatever. Like
it's not like even Knob Creek can taste slightly different. Granted, that's slightly, but they also Knob Creek does a lot more stuff with aging. The cool thing with Maker's Mark is that they don't change their stuff by aging. They use basically for all of their generic stuff the same profile. They just change how much water they add.
Yeah.
And they change the blend of things. But like Maker's Mark makes the most out of one mash bill. It's not like, I mean, even Knob Creek, like they age things longer, they use different barreling. Maker's Mark is the best at using one thing consistently.
I think them and Buffalo Trace does the same thing, where they have probably 12
Buffalo Trace definitely follows like the Knob Creek idea, except instead of aging, they release it as different names. Which is why, like, Buffalo Trace 10 years, Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace Small Batch is H. Taylor.
Yeah.
Or, correction, Buffalo Trace Bottled and Bond is H. Taylor. Buffalo Trace, I want to call it a single barrel, I guess. Blanton's is a single barrel. But I also believe, I don't know if that's on the same mash bill.
Bland's is a different mash bill and is also aged in a warehouse that's not made of wood and brick. The warehouse is a metal building, which changes the flavor profile as it ages.
I mean, because you also think no batch of Blanton's is the exact same.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
you could take one from the barrel right above the old one, and it's not going to be the same as the one you just tried.
Yeah, but that building that they created there is such a unique, because have you been to the?
Because I started getting into bourbon right as the all the shutdowns started happening. I haven't gotten to the bourbon trail, which I want to do so bad.
I've been to the Buffalo Trace.
I need Buffalo Trace. I need Jim Beam. I need Jack Daniels. Even though, Jack Daniels isn't technically a bourbon,
but still.
I mean,
honestly though, this tastes like a Maker's product, but it's does not taste
unique enough that it doesn't taste.
It doesn't taste like any Maker's I've had before.
Right. Like, if you did a blind test, you'd be like, did Maker's Mark make this?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, I would pin it as a Maker's product. It tastes like, it has similarities to like a 46 or whatever.
You can definitely tell the mash bill is similar.
For sure.
Or at least the base distillate is the exact same, because you get all the wheat kind of flavors. It's the French oak that makes it different.
Yeah, it's it has that nice spice to it that you don't get out of a lot of Makers, but you definitely get... You get that caramel finish almost that you get with a lot of them.
Right, you get basically the finish is a lot more like a Maker's, but the actual palate is a lot different than anything else they make.
Absolutely.
And that's why I really want to try their other ones, because that is just, it's so different.
It's different.
While
it's
being
so good.
similar.
It's so good.
And it's really good. And it's $60. If you can get that at MSRP, which in Pennsylvania, we can get it at $60 when it shows up. Just good luck getting it before it sells out. At $60, that is a fantastic buy.
Absolutely. I would buy this in a heartbeat.
Right. I mean, at secondary pricing, I don't know that I would. But that's also because PA, the way they do it's a gift and a curse. Because it's a curse as in it's hard to find things, but it's a gift because when you find it, you're getting it at a reasonable price for the most part. Unless you want to buy Elijah Craig 18, in which case, instead of $130, it's $200. But they mark up where they mark up. People will buy it. They know people will buy it.
Yeah.
So, no, that's $60. That's just phenomenal.
For $60, that's a fucking phenomenal bottle.
Still not my favorite on the shelf. I still think the sweet wheat.
The sweet wheat
is
incredible.
But I mean, that's again comparing. Well, I can't even say that's comparing apples and oranges because we're still talking about weeded stuff.
Yeah.
But this is just different because this is meant to be experimental and that's meant to be their.
I say, well, and I think that it's a different style of weeded because this has a lot of spice to it, whereas the sweet wheat is just meant to be straight sweet, which it is. And it's,
right. And you can tell though that like if Maker's Mark were to make a sweet wheat where that was their goal, I feel like it would taste really similar.
Absolutely,
because
I would love
feel
to
like
see
they
that.
I forget what when I filled out the thing for the ambassador thing, it asked the question and I forget what it's called. But the type of wheat they use is meant to be really sweet, and to my knowledge, it's very similar, if not the same wheat profile, or the flavor profile from the wheat that 1792 uses for the sweet wheat.
Yeah,
which would make sense because it's sweet. They make the sweetest varieties of wheat that they can. Yeah,
absolutely.
We have quite a variety on this table.
Absolutely, yeah.
But definitely worth saving it for last because that bite to it would definitely ruin your palate.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I would definitely ruin your palate on, especially something like the Jefferson or whatever.
Yeah, the Jefferson, the sweet wheat, the things that are meant to be more mellow and solid and like easy to drink. Yeah, that aren't meant to necessarily be super refined and robust. That are meant to just have that flavor you want. It would overpower the hell out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Hell, it does now because anything you could taste before, you aren't tasting it now. You're tasting the baking spice from that.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, dude, I appreciate you letting me try this.
Yeah. Now, my goal is to get as many different Makers products as I can because I have the 101.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of sad got hotter as I let it open up. Yeah. It's good. It's still really, really good, but it tastes more like a 107 or 108 proof, and not a 101, which doesn't matter to me because we both drink full proof.
Yeah,
from the glass. But like, when I go into it expecting a 101, it is a little bit stronger, but the flavors are all still there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, it's funny, I don't think I have regular makers on my shelf right now because I have the 46, I have the cask, I have the 101, and I have this.
Yeah.
I gave the bottle of makers to my dad, so. But.
Honestly, I don't think I have, I think I only have 46 from them right now.
I want the 46 cask.
I'd like to try.
And I would love the store pick private select, but I haven't seen that one show up. As we can tell, I like the weeded stuff a lot.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that too.
That's why I like Weller.
I like Weller.
Have you had? So my buddy has the 107, the Old Weller Antique store pick.
Ooh.
Can I just add? Good luck finding a store pick Weller Antique for $40 in any other state than Pennsylvania. That's the part where we're blessed.
Yeah.
Is that we get that for MSRP, and apparently if you put it on a tiny ice cube and let a little bit of water, that opens it up so much and gets rid of the heat and lets all the flavor come out while removing all of that heat.
Interesting.
And although on its own we tried it and it was phenomenal. He tried it here actually. It was really, really good. But I'm biased because and I'm telling you, if you find the Jefferson's Ocean 22 batch, apparently there's a cask strength.
Yeah, my dad has a bottle of the 21, and I...
21? That's what he has.
I think
wow. If it's the 21, he got lucky because that's hard to find in PA too.
I think it's
20. I don't know too much about it.
He has either 20 or 21. I forget which one it is.
If it was bought in PA, it's probably the 20 because the 20 and the 23 have been the ones that are out here. The 21, I don't recall the mash bill. The 22 is weeded. That's why I really want to try it. And what's nice is too that if they got it right, it has the captain's log type thing that they put on it that tells you what mash bill it was, what ship it was on, where that ship was.
Yeah, I definitely like.
That's why that Jefferson's Ocean, like, part of me wants to try it, and the other part of me doesn't because I know every batch is going to be dramatically different. And it's not
he has 20. He has 20.
20 is a. I want to say it came from.
I gotta say, I don't love that. Like, I don't love it. I love the Jefferson's Reserve very old, and I've had a couple of the other Jeffersons, but I don't love it. It's
see that's the thing is you're not gonna like every batch because every batch uses something completely different as its base, and that's what is annoying about it because it can be hit like I don't want to drop $90 on a voyage I don't know about.
I would love to try Voyage 22. I was not a huge fan of 20.
So what it describes is they have what's called the flavor spiral for this. This is from flaviar.com for Voyage 20. So a lot of toffee.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Smoky oak, and then the vanilla and caramel. So the main thing outside of it being a bourbon is a lot of toffee, a lot of smokiness. It says it has a good bit of citrus, a little bit of brine and salt.
Yeah,
the brine and salt is what comes from it aging.
There's a lot of it's very bitter. In
that's the brine. That's the citrus zest, salt. That comes from that part is what comes from it aging at sea, and that depends on where it aged at sea.
Yeah, but it's more than just the brine that you get because I know you're going to get a brine from that naturally. But
background is an interesting description.
Never
Chewy toffee, smoking oak in brine. That's where it's coming from. That brine is that saltiness, that sort of almost bitter.
See, but it's almost not like it's almost not.
Is it the palate that's bitter, or is it the finish?
The finish. The finish is more bitter.
The finish is long and sweet with a blooming citrus zest. That's where
it's gonna be the citrus.
You're getting into citrus.
Because I'm. Like,
a lot of people said it's good, but that has to be your taste. Like it's
yeah, it's not my taste.
I would assume it's one of those things where you could taste it, you know, it's good quality, but it's not the flavor you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And like I really love
I want to find
the other Jefferson's products that I've had, and it was, you know, for the premium that I know that bourbon commanded.
Right.
I was happy I didn't spend that money for it because I wouldn't enjoy it.
Right. I'm trying to find the this is taking a complete tangent from the original.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But I don't care because this is cool stuff anyway.
Absolutely.
I can still post this. I'm still posting this the way it is. I just want to find... So it stopped in 5 different continents across the equator 4 times. So it was aged in a hotter climate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which, obviously, temperature plays a huge role.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And, I mean... It's... I don't know. I don't know enough about how that sort of dramatic change in heat would actually affect it, especially since it's only finished for 5 to 10 months normally.
Yeah, it's such an interesting, I don't know. I'm not sold on, I have to say, I am not sold on the idea of the ocean just from trying Voyage 20. I love
the idea.
I love the idea, but I don't know, being that I've only tried the one voyage, that I love it.
Right. I feel like I would need to, A, try the rest of the Jefferson's lineup, just to get a feel for what their normal product tastes like.
Mm.
I don't remember if I said A or 1, but B, if it's... I would then need to probably taste a couple different voyages side by side.
Yeah, I'd really like to try
and also, I would
voyages.
love to see what the mash bill is.
Yeah.
To see what is being changed by the salt and like the ocean air, and what is being changed by the heat, and what is being changed by the mash bill.
Yeah, I'd like to try something like, be able to try like the same mash bill aged normally, and then try that mash bill in one of their aged as sea voyages.
See, and the other thing is, wow, that's such a cool idea. At $80, I'll buy a bottle of Booker's.
Yeah,
I'll spend $5 more and buy a bottle of Booker's.
I feel like there's a lot better bourbons that you can buy that you're gonna have a surefire, good.
I mean, think the Sweet Wheat was $40. You tried my Toasted Barrel Elijah Craig. That was $50.
That was $50. The
Woodford Double Oak $60.
Yeah, that Woodford Double Oak is so
Again,
good.
we're comparing very different types of whiskeys. So, but at the same time, depending on the batch, we're not comparing different types of whiskeys.
No, because at the same time,
they could always use a double oak kind of whiskey in the. I gotta double check the Steelers score. Sorry, that just popped in my head.
It's all good. We should probably end this soon anyway.
Yeah, 23-35. Still in the third quarter. Cleveland just got the ball.
Huh.
Well, 12-point game. The Steelers can come back from this. Just saying. And honestly, that would be on brand with the Steelers.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, I also just want to talk for a minute about... I want to show this one, the Kansas City one, because I'll never get another chance to talk about this.
Yeah,
So it's what, Rieger's?
Yeah, this
I want to do...
Rieger's. It was...
Rieger's. We're going to do this live. We're going to look up and see if I can find any information about this.
Yeah, this was... I was on a trip in Kansas City last year, and a buddy of mine that lives down there said this is a local distiller that does a bourbon, and I was like, all right, I'm sold. I think the bottle was in the neighborhood of like $35.
Oh, for $35, that's not bad then.
Yeah.
I need the review. No, stop. I just want to see a review because, we've tasted it, but I want to see what people actually describe it as, and to see, people are going to know more information than we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a child that also really likes to drink expensive whiskey.
Okay. Slightly sherried. I definitely got that. That's
absolutely.
That's where some of the deep fruity kind of flavor came from.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Prohibition Era. So, you know what? It makes me kind of realize how the style really does have an effect, because I have the Old Forester 1920, which is Prohibition style. Mm-hmm. And obviously, they made it differently 100 years ago. And using that old method and using the old styles and some of the old means of distilling just in general, it's amazing what kind of an effect that can have, because I sort of get the same kind of flavors, but it's a lot more mellow. But it's a lot less flavorful as well. It's good, but it's less flavorful than. But you're comparing a $30 to $40 craft, which means it's generally, if it weren't a craft, going to be $25, $30.
Yeah. Versus
MSRP of like $50 Old Forester. Old Forester is a pretty definitive name, and the base distillate from them already has sort of notes of banana, so you get a lot more tropical fruit.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of that.
Like I said, I don't know a ton about the distillery. I was like, I asked my friend, we were at a liquor store, and I said, what can I buy down here that's going to be sort of something I can't get?
So they're getting what I got, a lot of cranberry.
Yeah,
they got cranberry sauce, sweet caramel, but a lot of like cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves. So that's where a little bit of that bite came from. Although it's more on the sweet side. A lot of like it said, sweet berries.
Very sweet, but
it's not.
Yeah.
Powerful. It's just there. Let's see. A little bit of a burn, which I can agree with.
I'd like to try another little bit of this.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let me finish up this tiny bit of...
That's my water. I have to drink out of the bottle.
Should also add, anyone watching this, the only good way to do this is Glencairn glasses if you're doing tastings, and rinse it with water, and then drink some water to rinse your palate. Because otherwise, you're going to get a little bit of what you had before it, and it's just not going to be the same the next time you try it. Yeah, let's do a little bit more of this.
If your water tastes like whiskey whenever you drink it out of there, you need to rinse it again.
Yes. Or don't. We're reviewing bourbons, we're not cops. Pulling a page from The Simpsons. Do not enter, or enter on a sign, not a cop.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can agree with this review. This review is from the whiskeywash.com. I've never heard of them, but I was just looking for a review on this. Definitely get the cranberry. Yep.
Yeah, now that I wouldn't have immediately pinned it on cranberry.
I mean, I did, but that's also because I've tried a lot more recently. And after trying the sweet wheat, it gave me similar vibes.
Interesting. It's
pretty thin. Definitely a bit of a burn, especially more toward the finish.
For sure. I feel like that might be... What's the proof on this? This is
Is it 90?
92.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's... Also, I should add, getting a 90-something proof one for $30 that is decent, that's not bad. Because I'm not a... So...
Yeah, it was
it's
not...
like with Basil Hayden, where I love Basil Hayden, but you're paying a good bit for an 80 proof bourbon.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I actually bought this because a buddy of mine down there works at the liquor store, and I bought this and a bottle actually of Basil Hayden's Dark Rye using his
fantastic in Manhattan.
Which you got me to try, and it is the best Manhattan I've ever had. Fucking incredible.
There you go.
The port that is in that
the
rye.
The port is what does it.
Mixed
the
with
rye
that
is already pretty good, but the port is what it needs.
That's a bottle like a lot of these, once you finish the bottle, you don't immediately feel the need to go buy another one. But that's a bottle that it's so unique.
This review actually praises this pretty good.
It really is.
It says that it's and I would agree. Where if you added $5-10 to it, I'd be like, it's okay for the price. But for $30, $30-ish bucks, it's got a lot going for it flavor-wise. Well, it could just age a little bit longer to lose a little bit of that.
I feel that.
Burn.
I feel that.
Because it's not a spice kind of burn, and it's not an oaky kind of smoky type of burn. It burns like it's young, which isn't bad because all the flavors are there, and I like that burn personally.
Yeah,
but I know
good.
That's not for everybody.
It's good. I compare this to we're in Pittsburgh, so Wiggle.
I have my qualms about Wiggle. If they aged their stuff, it would be good. Their base stuff, you can tell the flavors are there, but oh my god, is it so hot?
It's so hot, and it's it's $65 for what is at the end of the day a mediocre bottle, and
the deep cut. I will easily drop the $70 on.
I've never had
I
their
thought
deep
that
cut.
was good.
I've never had their deep cut.
That's their eight.
I've had their
I don't remember how long it's aged.
I've had their quote unquote Pennsylvania bourbon, and it's like it's okay.
The flavors are good.
The flavors are there, but
I
it's
love
hot.
the flavor, but I can't get over the heat. And I will die on that hill. That Wiggle is good, and I'll always support them. And I love their odd stuff like that hopped. Is phenomenal. And their weird things they do spot on, but their generic things they need longer aged versions.
And I think it's a problem right now of they have kind of come into the spotlight where they haven't had enough time to have an aged.
Which I should add for anyone watching, because I know there are people who watch that aren't from Pittsburgh. If you find Wiggle, it is worth a try.
Yes, it
You
was
will
worth
like
a try.
the flavor.
It is worth a try. I'm not a fan of it personally because it's readily available and it costs too much money, and I could buy a much better bottle for that price. But
it's always worth that.
It's always
first
worth a try.
bite. It's always worth that first.
I've bought 3 bottles of their stuff. I've liked them. I've just not loved them to the point where.
And if you visit Pittsburgh and COVID doesn't stop the tastings, do the tastings because they let you sample whatever you want.
Yeah, I've done some good.
You would think we're paid by Wiggle to say this part, but
yeah,
no, I've gone down there and tried like 15 of their different things over 3 visits, and I've liked them all.
As I fucking backpedal my ass back to okay, but try them. They're good, but I didn't like them at all.
See. The part I didn't like was just that it needs to be aged longer.
It really does need to be aged longer. I feel like if they come out with some stuff like some bourbony stuff, some whiskeys that are a little bit more aged, I would like them.
See, I think they
also do too much. Like I feel like they
take the craft position where they branch out so much and try all these weird things that turn out good that their regular whiskey sort of doesn't get the attention it should get and deserves to get.
Yeah, and I feel
because they definitely have a good product. It just needs more attention.
I mean, they also make vodka and rum and gin and all these other liquors that like
they don't make vodka. They make absinthe.
I swear to God, I've had a vodka from them.
Do they?
I swear to God, I've had it.
I don't know. I know they make a gin. I know they make the landlocked rum, which I've heard is actually really good. And
I've had the rum. It's not bad.
It's cheaper. I've heard it's good. They do like the weird things like the Phil's Shadow. I believe that's a cocktail.
Yeah.
They do the pickle flavored stuff because Picklesburg is a thing here, and I tasted that. It's spot on. The hop stuff and anything that they do with hops almost makes you wish they got into IPAs because their hop flavor is really good, really refined.
It's very
crisp.
interesting, yeah.
It's like crisp. It tastes like almost like a summer IPA, but 80 proof. And how the fuck did we get onto Wiggle from Maker's Mark? But
we went to
because
Rieger's.
we were talking about craft.
Yeah, we went to Rieger's, which is a craft.
Right, but I mean, back to the Riegers. Like, it almost makes me want to look and see if I can get this as a special order in PA, because I would consider having a bottle on my shelf.
Oh, absolutely.
If the sweet wheat weren't so stupid hard to find, I would trade you for it. But I am not. That is not a worthwhile trade.
Well, and also I have a sweet spot for Kansas City, so I'm. This is a bottle I'm keeping on my. I have another bottle of I forget what it even is from Kansas City. That's like it is.
Next time you make it out there, let me know. I'll give you the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's not this one, hit me up with something from them. That's
absolutely. At some point, I should make it back down there. COVID and my friend who lives down there schedule has kind of dampered that. But
speaking of craft, like local craft, I want to go when I go back to Delaware. I wanted to buy it, but then I saw that Michter's and could not say no to the sour mash. Dogfish Head. Obviously they make the beer. They make the spirits, huh?
I don't like IPAs. So
they make spirits.
I know they do, but I've never tried anything from them because I feel like I've never had any of their beers. Don't like IPAs, so I don't.
You should. I'll hit you up with some of their beers that aren't IPAs because they have some good stuff.
Okay, because
Do you like sours?
Yes.
Their Mimosa sour you will fucking love them.
Okay. See,
I wasn't a fan because it appeals way too much to people who like sours.
See, I
was
really
trying
like
to
sours.
introduce myself into it. And
is it like a fruited sour or is it a?
It's a. Let's look it up. we're getting into beer now.
We're getting into beer now. We're 35 minutes into this shit. Are
we really?
Yeah,
you know what?
We're off the
I'm
rails.
posting this as
We're off the fucking rails here. Whatever. This is a podcast at this point. Fuck it.
Honestly, I have no complaints about that.
It's a fucking pot. Yeah, since we're on fucking Maker's Mark, I got the fucking Maker's Mark Ambassador fucking playing cards, and they are
sick. And I have the ice mold somewhere. I have Maker's Mark socks. Oh, you know what? I'm grabbing these.
These are off-white playing cards that have Maker's Mark recipes on them. They have etchings from the distillery. These are the coolest playing cards ever, and like Maker's Mark, congratulations on being incredible to the people who support you, because like I
have Maker's Mark socks. Which, by the way, if you want a pair, that's extra. So if they'll fit you,
I say these probably won't fit me. My feet are enormous.
You know what they say about big feet.
I'm going to make no comment on that and move on, because we're talking about alcohol, and you know I'm a little concerned now.
I mean, this shit shows up in my regular dash cam videos. Who cares? So it's called Sunday Feels, the Dogfish Head.
Okay.
It has almost a 3.7 on Untapped, which isn't bad overall.
It's really not bad. I feel like people are very critical on there. So.
People are so critical. They like to think they're snobs, and they're like, I'm giving this Yingling a 1.2 because it's not a Belgian monk delirium IPA.
Dude, my favorite stout that I've ever had is Sam Smith's Oatmeal Stout, and it has like a 3.2 on Untapped, and I'm like, what, like, you guys need to get a life and understand that not every single, like, this is not the best whiskey I've ever had, but I still give it a high rating because holy shit, for $35 at a craft distiller, it's good.
Right, like they have to consider what they paid for it too.
Absolutely.
And they're not good at that.
Yeah, people don't understand that.
The description for it's called Sunday Feels, that's Dogfish Head's Mimosa Sour. Inspired by the ultimate brunch companion, the mimosa. This ale is brewed with, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, it's a grape juice, peaches, blood oranges, lemon, oranges, and lime. It's like champagne and fruit had a baby.
Okay. So whenever
it's a sour, it's a fruited sour.
So whenever I was at...
And 6.5%.
Ooh. So whenever I was at Dubs at the Gap down in Maryland,
right,
this past year, they did a beer thing at this craft distillery that I can't remember the name of, and it's gonna kill me, and I'm gonna have to look it up.
Is it in Cumberland?
Yeah, it's near Cumberland. If you say the name, then I'll remember it. Just look up the any sort of craft brewery in Cumberland area.
Cheers. 1812?
It was 1812. And they had a blood orange sour that I was a little bit skeptical on. But it is one of the... It had a...
I wonder if I can find them at Save More.
It had a really nice note of tartness to it, but it was still really sweet. And I like sours, but I don't like sours to the point where I could drink a bunch of them, but I felt like I could drink a bunch of that.
Huh.
And it was probably 6.5.
Yeah, because I wasn't the biggest fan of sours, but that's because I'm more into IPAs. I like the bitter, I like the hoppy kind of flavors.
I don't like hoppy. I like a more of a.
You like stouts. You like lagers.
Yeah, I like stouts.
Sours.
I like stouts. I like
things where you don't taste the hops, where you taste pretty much anything other than that.
Yes, I don't like hops, but I do. I mean.
Because, of course, that sucks because that's what Dogfish Head is best at. Their IPAs are phenomenal.
Yeah, every bar you go to around here, you're like, oh shit, it's an IPA.
I will always have a 6-pack at some point, or at least a bottle or two in my fridge of the 60-minute IPA because it is the best cheap IPA I can find around here.
You know, the more I drink this Rieger's, I've had this Rieger's in my cabinet for probably a year and a half. Yeah, it's been a year and a half.
Realizing that you need to drink more of it?
I need to drink more of it. This is so good.
Right?
I never drink it because I'm like, oh, I have the Jefferson Reserve. I have Maker's 46. I have 1792.
It's like one of those things where, I have some things like the Calumet Farm. I don't know if you've ever had that. I have that over there.
Yeah, I looked at that earlier and I was tempted to give it a try.
So that one's interesting because it's a mix of an 8 and a 13 year.
Okay, that's kind of like what Very Old is, where it's a mix of between 9 and 13-year-old bourbons that kind of all mix together to make a really interesting flavor.
Right, but I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know. You were on something with the Camelot. Camelot.
The Knights of Camelot. Something like that.
We're off the rest.
Yes, we are. You know what? Let's call it at that. How about that? We've gone on enough tangents. These videos are not going to typically be this long.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's make them this long.
Whenever I'm with friends, this is how it's going to probably be because it's always going to go talking about bourbon. And honestly, I've already gotten some positive feedback on just bringing up this topic on my channel. So, like, why not?
By the way,
I had a friend who wants to join me on these videos who I've never met in person. I just met him through dashcam shit.
By the way, I'm Ryan. I didn't introduce myself.
This is my buddy Ryan. He shows up in, if you go back and watch my last car culture video, there's a couple videos including him deep throating my hood prop, which by the way is on YouTube now. You're welcome.
This is the first time I'm learning about this, so that's fucking fun.
I posted it today, so
dope. All right, thanks, Max. You're the best.
You are quite welcome. Yeah, this fine young man's available.
Yeah, if you're looking for a delinquent 24-year-old who drinks too much whiskey, what's up? Hit me up.
You're looking for a delinquent 23-year-old who drinks too much whiskey. Hit me up. We got all kinds of ages. We got 23, we got 24. No one likes me. Blink-182 said so.
You know what's even funnier than 24? 25. And you know what I'm going to be in fucking 4 months? 25, and I'm depressed.
I feel like those are not related statements.
Nope.
But yeah, let's call it here. Not all these videos are going to be this long. Most of them are just going to be me giving my little feedback on things. They'll be like 5-10 minutes. But whenever friends are here, it turns into this. And honestly, why not? This is amusing.
Yeah, I mean...
It's informative, too. We learned about
it. It's basically a podcast at this point. You know what? That's fine.
I mean, it fits the nature of my channel, so...
Yeah, I mean...
My channel's a mix of everything.
Your channel's whatever the fuck you feel like posting at the moment.
Pretty much.
Did you post dash cam stuff of the drives that you were on with me yet?
Bro, those were in, like, August. I am on beginning of May.
Oh, shit. Did you get the...
I just posted the one from the first rally where I met you, don't forget that.
The one... Okay, I need to watch... Yeah, because that was in...
There wasn't many clips from that, but I did post the time lapses from that.
Okay,
those are all
you were in Blake's Porsche for that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so I was in the Porsche.
Yeah, okay.
But like there were the clips where the road didn't exist in this video. There were 4 of them. Those roads were bad.
And whenever I thought that Will was gonna kill me in his eclipse on those parts,
there wasn't a good dash cam of that, but sad. But
well, that was because the Porsche was so fucking slow that you guys were a mile behind us.
We were back there with Lenny in the Mini Cooper, bro.
Oh, because Lenny fucking broke his shit. Like half. Like
I don't know if it was because he broke his shit. He was going slow from the beginning.
He broke his tie rod. Like half mile into the rally.
Half a mile into it?
Yeah. You know, remember whenever we stopped like at that?
Oh, is that what that was?
Lenny broke a tie rod.
Bro, I'm gonna give him credit. He kept up pretty good for being down the tie rod. Anyway, let me call this here. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.